Okay, so back to the top. So obviously we are a GPS tracking and monitoring company. We
Yep.
are the only GPS monitoring company that is backed by 24/7 support. So every call that does come in is answered in seconds. We pride ourselves on answering every call in less than 60 seconds. I believe our average answer time is around 18. So obviously when any of their dealerships or service centers are closed, stuck on the water, mechanical issue, you can call us directly from the app. You can email us directly from the app. You can text us directly from the app. The pricing, and we'll get to that in a little bit. It does include the device. It does include access to the app. It does include access to the portal, and of course the 24/7 services, all included in the pricing. What you see for the pricing is what you get. We don't have any hidden fees or anything along those lines. So again, here's a look, just a quick rundown of what every client would receive with BoatFix. You do have access to the BoatFix Pro app. That is a free download from either Google or Apple. We have the 24/7 live customer support. No matter where you are in the world, we will answer the phone when it rings here in the United States. I can't tell you how many times I've been late to Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving because we're taking phone calls. Time does not matter if your client happens to be on another part of the world, and it's 5 o'clock their time, but it's 2 in the morning here. Call us. You will get someone answering that phone. All of our weather and our charting is pulled from NOAA for the United States, of course. The weather is going to be at the boat's location, not at the owner's cell phone location. So very important for those who are absentee boat owners. Um, it's always nice to see what the weather's going to be before you head out. And our NOAA weather will let you help make that educated decision on whether or not it's a good idea to head out. It'll let you know if there's any small craft advisories, fog warnings, lightning strikes, storm warnings, wind warnings, high seas, anything that's NOAA's giving you to learn on, we will pull it into our system. You always know where your boat is. Our GPS location pings when the ignition is off at least once an hour. With the ignition on, it's going to ping once a minute. So with the ignition on, you're going to have a phenomenal track of that boat. And with the ignition off, you're going to know where it is at least once an hour. If something does happen during that hour, the device will wake up and let you know. We have anti-theft features, which we'll get to the bottom of this list. Our mechanical helpline is fantastic. We are not sending anybody out to the boat. We are going to answer the phone call. We are going to do a video connection um, if that's available. And these guys are going to advise them on things to do to help get the boat back in safely, or at least get the boat out on the water. Um, we are not going to do anything that would jeopardize the warranty of the boat. We're also not going to have somebody doing something they're not comfortable doing, especially if they're out on the water. What we will then do is, if it's necessary to facilitate a tow, we will be that concierge service to connect the client with a tow service, whether it's Towboat US, Sea-Tow here in the States. Um, and we will stay on the phone until help arrives. We'll never leave that boater stranded. Battery monitoring, we do high battery as well as low battery. So anything below 12 volts. And again, this is on a 12-volt system. If it's a 24-volt system, we can adjust these thresholds. Anything below 12 volts, 11.9 volts is going to give you our first battery warning, basically letting you know that your battery's dipped below what we believe to be a safe threshold. At the 10-volt level, you're going to get another battery alert, basically telling you your battery is dead. At 7 volts, you're going to get a device disconnection alert, letting you know your device on your boat is no longer drawing power from the battery. So you have three alerts on the way down. Very important, though, we have alerts on the way up. If your boat is on shore power or you're on a charger, the regulator goes bad, the battery spikes to 40, 50, 60 volts, you're now in danger of melting that battery and causing a fire. So anything above 16 volts is going to give you a high battery alarm. And that high battery alarm actually is coupled with an automatic phone call to the client, letting them know that their battery is spiking to an unsafe level. The playback of trips is of course right there. We our GPS tracking is phenomenal. Our theft mode and our theft recovery. Our theft mode is is using geofencing. If you're not familiar with what geofencing is, basically think of it as an invisible dog fence around your boat. If your boat leaves that certain area, it's going to wake up the device and call your cell phone and let you know that your boat has moved. 75% or so of boats that are stolen are on trailers. So if anybody is trailering their boat, they leave the boat on the hard. They're at a Motel 6 overnight. We always suggest that they go into their app, they turn on protect mode. That creates the 100-yard radius circle around the boat. And again, if that moves out of that circle, um, our systems are going to go off. Theft recovery, if the boat does get stolen, again, I think that we are the only ones who do this. We actually have a theft recovery mode that we can put the boat into. And what that does is it takes the ping rate down from 1 hour or 1 minute down to about every 10 seconds, which will just let us know where the boat is every 10 seconds. It also creates a URL link for that particular boat that we can then send on to law enforcement, whether it's the Coast Guard, the state police, the local police, the county police, whoever it is on the case, we can send them that URL link. It's a one-time token into our system, and the police, the law enforcement can go out and go do their thing and go recover that boat. Um, and something that we've been working extremely hard on for the last 5 years is getting the attention of insurance companies. And we are finally at that stage now. Uh, we are going to have deals in place with um, 4 or 5 very large insurance companies that are willing to give discounts based on having boat fix on the boat because they understand that your boat is not just being tracked, but it's actually being actively monitored by humans here in the United States. And here's just some screenshots of what the app looks like. And of course, all my Zoom stuff is right in the way. So on the left-hand side is just a basic overview of what the NOAA charting would look like from your app. That is zoomed out a little bit. If you did zoom in, you would get the depths, you would get the buoy markers, you would get the lighthouses, etc. In the middle slide, that's exactly what I was talking about just a minute ago with protect mode. That is a simple button that you just tap on, or maybe you slide it to the right. I just tap on mine and it works. And that automatically puts the 100-yard radius circle around your boat. We do have max speed alarms if anybody's worried about anybody else using their boat and they don't want them going above a certain threshold. You can have that on it. It will let you know if that boat does um, go above that threshold. On the right-hand side, you'll see the battery voltage is highlighted in pink or orange there. My eyes are terrible. You'll see the battery is a healthy 12.2 volts, and you'll see underneath that a view voltage chart. That is something that we added in 2024, and it's basically giving the client, the boat owner, an EKG of their battery. So if their battery is acting in a funky way, it's dropping, and then they charge it back up. The battery drops again. You'll be able to see that degradation. You'll be able to see the spikes and everything else on there. If your battery is a healthy 12.7 volts, the next day it's 12 and a half. The next day it's 12.3. The next day it's 11.9. The next day it's 11.5. You can see that natural degradation of that battery. And obviously, at that point, you're either going to put that battery on a charger or you're going to look into replacing that battery. Just going down the line real quickly, it always show your device is connected. If the device is not disconnected, that icon would be red. It would obviously disconnected. I don't think we're worrying about bilge, but we do bilge. We're actually getting away from bilge and going to high water monitoring. Again, that if that's something that you have on your device, that's there. And then we track nautical miles, engine hours, when was the last time you moved your boat, and of course, the location of where that boat is right now. You'll also know at the very bottom, this little long oval button says contact Bentley Gold. This is one of our OEM partners that we have. You would click into that button and it would pop up 3 choices to call us, email us, or text us. Okay, here we go. This is the EKG chart of the battery. So this we hunted for one that was acting very wacky. And this is the one we found. So we just wanted to show you how this battery is going from 12.2 volts down to 0 back up. So this guy has, I believe he had a loose connection um, on his battery cable and it kept doing this. So we eventually called him and we got it straightened out. So once you toggle that that view voltage chart tab on the battery, this is what would come up is this on the left hand side, and you get to choose the time period that you want to look at your battery. You can look at the last 24 hours if you want to look at the last 2 weeks, if you want to look at see how it's degraded over the last 6 months. That is totally up to you, and you can just do that right from the app. Some more screens. Again, this is some of our tracking now on the left-hand side. You can see every single one of these little black dots is the device checking in and reporting. So when you see some large gaps, obviously that's the boat going at a higher rate of speed. And when you see the dots closer together, obviously they're probably entering in a no wake zone here, and they enter nicely. You will see the lat long of the last ping, or the start point and the end point. That's point A and point B. A is ignition on, B is ignition off. So you'll see those lat long points. In the middle screen here, we have the ability to put in how many your fire extinguishers expiration date, your flares expiration date, how many life jackets you have on board. Obviously, if your boat does hold 10 people, it's always wise to have 10 life jackets on board. Whether your foghorn or your whistle is there, and your throwable personal flotation device. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. Lisa, how do I go back?
You should just be able to go click backwards. Are you talking about the weather? Did you want
Oh, here
to
we go.
highlight the
Perfect.
weather? There
Yeah,
you
this
go.
is I want to highlight. So at the very bottom here on the right hand side, this is where the client would find his NOAA weather. So again, so at that particular time, it was 2:36 at the boat location. This boat was in areas of fog. It was only 66 degrees, 18% chance of rain, and the wind was 12 knots gusting to 18 knots. So again, this client, if they're more of a fair weather boater, may have decided, not today. But if the guy is a little bit more gung ho and wants to get out there and catch some fish or just get on the water, that's the decision that they get to make themselves. Pre-departure upon return checklists. We can alter these if it's something that, if you guys see something that is not here that should be there, etc. But we basically just want the ability for the client to go through and just make sure that the boat has gas, that the batteries are checked, their anchor is on board, they check the weather, the nav lights are working, they have spare fuses, tools on the boat just in case something does go wrong. And then when they return, did they flush the engines? Did they clean and remove all the trash? All that kind of stuff. And we can toggle those if there's things that are not on here that should be on here for you and your clients, and vice versa. It's just a quick way for the client to go through to make sure that they did everything they're supposed to do before they left, and they do everything that they're supposed to do upon return. And on the right hand side, these are the notifications that the clients can turn on and turn off themselves from the app. These are the push notifications. The client can also receive email alerts and text messaging. And there are certain alerts that we will actually call your phone for. And that's an automatic phone call, and that's the protect mode breach and the ultra high battery, and the high battery, the purple battery alarm. We deem those to be extremely important alarms. We want the client to know right away that there's potentially something going on. You can go in and update your app. You can have your boat. You can name your boat to what you want to name your boat. You can have a picture of your boat. You can have a picture of your car. You have a picture of your wife if you want. It's really up to you what you want on the app yourself. And then you have the subscription tab, so the client will see that they started with us on October of 23, and their subscription is coming to an end. It should really see the end of September, but so that they know how much time is left in their subscription. Very, very simple installation. Our 2-wire device is literally one wire to the red terminal, one wire to the black terminal. It should take all of about 3 minutes to install. We call it a 10-minute installation, just because sometimes you have to loosen up the lug nuts. And I said lug nuts like it's a tire. You have to loosen up some of the nuts and bolts on the battery to get the fork connections in there, and then tighten them back up. But it literally, I am a person with two left hands, I am not mechanical at all, and I can install this device with my eyes closed. That's how easy it is. As long as the sticker is facing up towards the sky, your device should work flawlessly. If the device does flip over or something along those lines, just rest. Just you have to know that the device is probably going to go offline because the GPS antenna is on top, and if it GPS doesn't go through water. It's really that simple. We will supply an adhesive. It's a triple M sticky pad that you can stick that device right to the top of the battery or wherever you're installing it. You can mount it to the to whatever in the boat. As long as that label is skyward, you should be good to go. And here's the white elephant. Here we are. The two-wire device is $299. That is the price just for the device. And again, it's a quick 10-minute installation. These are IP67 waterproof. Our devices are guaranteed for life, and everything else that you see there. Then on top of the device, the clients are required to pay a $179 annual subscription. That comes out to be about $14.95 a month, I believe it is. If they do buy 2 years up front, they will receive the third year for free. So if they buy the two-wire device and then 2 years of subscription, they'll actually get that third year for free. And that, ladies and gentlemen, sums it up in as quickly as I possibly. Hey, we did it under 30. That's pretty good.
That's great.
Normally,
That's
just so
right.
you know, Captain, I could talk about this for an hour or two and just have your eyes glaze over.
Perfect. All right. If you wouldn't mind just stopping to share, and we'll go into a couple of Q&As. And
Sure.
start your videos, please. Well, first of all, thanks so much for taking the time and making this really eloquent presentation. The questions we have, because of course most of our participants are there. Hold on, let me just make sure that we get you on the screen here. Where are you guys? Go. All right. Perfect. Lisa and Kevin, thank you so much. Very clear, very good install. What works for you? Where do you see your sweet spot? Is it usually boats that are at a certain size? Is it mostly for runarounds, or do you have some cruisers also who are using this system?
So our wheelhouse is
Mhm.
17 to 30 something feet.
Got it.
We are
Okay.
on a 72-foot Viking. We are on some of the larger boats as well. One
Yeah.
of our insurance partners that's about to sign on is in the higher end boats.
Yeah.
The boats that normally would have a ghost system or a barnacle system on it. Um, but some people don't want to spend $10,000-$20,000 on a tracking system.
Yeah. Copy that.
But yeah, so that's our wheelhouse
Yeah.
primarily.
Perfect. And the GPS, the signal gets transmitted. How do you send it out? Do we need to tether it to a Wi-Fi? Does it send it out over cell phone? How do you get
Yeah.
the GPS
So
track
it is
info?
it is a cellular based. So the GPS is obviously satellite.
Yeah.
Then it's disseminated to us and to you and to your clients via cell phone. So yes, there is the cell phone drop off about anywhere from 15 to 25 miles offshore. The device will continue to report while it's offline. And once it goes into the next port or the next cell zone, all that information will download into the client's account.
Copy that. I like the fact that it's small and gets right on the battery. So you
Yes.
recommend it obviously on the starter battery of one of the engines.
To be honest with you, we normally recommend it going on one of the house batteries, especially if one of those batteries is powering the bilge pump or any of those kind of features.
Yeah.
As long as you have that battery is good and we're monitoring it, you should be able to start your boat, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want to put any other stress on the crank batteries. And not that our device draws a lot of power, it does not. But crank batteries can be fickle and they'll start when you leave the marina, you get out and you're drifting, and then you go to start the engine again and it's dead because all you had was a flow charge. And now you've got to do your switch but as long
Yeah.
as you have that good house battery on, you should at least be able to get back.
All right. Copy that. Couple of other things. The app runs on Android and Mac, I assume. iOS.
Yeah, so it's either Apple iOS or Android. So either Google Play or Apple Store. They are
Okay.
free downloads. We would provide the client with their username and password, and then they'd be able to get it.
That's fantastic. Are there any future development plans you want to talk about? Anything about new products, or are you sticking to this for now?
We are always looking to improve our services. We're not
Yeah.
looking to expand necessarily what we monitor, because obviously the more you monitor, the more expensive things tend to get. With telematics, to be honest with you, Captain, you can monitor the humidity level in the cabin. You can monitor the temperature of your wine fridge if you really wanted to, but you're getting into pricey stuff. So we like to keep it simple. We
Yep.
do have eyes at some point on the backbone of somehow connecting to that, so we can get maybe potentially some of the engine code faults, and that sort of thing. Fuel usage, that is probably where we would go next. But again, we'd have to, it's a development thing, so it
Yeah.
takes time.
And then lastly, is there in your plans anywhere a future option to tie into a boat's Wi-Fi? Because a lot of us have Starlink now on board. So foregoing the signals via the carrier.
So the answer to that question is yes. I don't know how far along we are there.
Okay.
We've definitely chatted about it. We were very close to a partnership with Ghost. Not because we don't see ourselves as competitors. Ghost is going on the $10 million boat. We're going on the $200,000 boat. So it's a much different system. Their system's $20,000, blah, blah, blah. But they have no customer service. They don't have anything of what we offer. So they were kind of looking into us to provide that to our clients. And so we got to know, the Ghost product pretty well. And obviously they're on, it's not Starlink, but they're on
Inmarsat.
Inmarsat, yes.
Yeah.
So that's who Ghost uses. And we at that point
Okay.
started talking about how we can link our system into that. And it's kind of segued into the Starlink. The nice thing about the Starlink is it's a much cheaper way to get that satellite functionality on the boat. I think with Starlink, what we would look to do is to see if we could have our device sending the cellular to the Starlink and have it disseminate back to the client. So that way you're not losing connectivity when you're out of cell zone.
Yeah, that's fine.
Again, though, Captain, that's something that I don't know if that's even on the roadmap for 2025.
That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I certainly appreciate your time. Kevin, Lisa, thank you so much. I'm going to send this out to everybody that's in our universe and our 16,000 email readers. So we'll be sure to send that video out over the next few weeks once we chop it down. I thank you for your time. Stay warm, stay safe, and we'll see you out on the water. Thanks
Thank you.
much.
I
Thank you
apologize
too.
about my attire today, but 25 degrees, I have to have a lid on my head.
I appreciate it.
And you
right.
stay safe too, Captain. Take care.
Captain,
so
it was a
much.
pleasure today. Thank you so
Same
much.
here. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.